Alright, so Frost Queen is getting a Crystal Gem very, very soon, alright, in less than a day. And I wanted to do a quick review of Frost Queen at the state that she is right now before she receives her Magic Candy or Crystal Gem. I keep saying Magic Candy, but it's a Crystal Gem, alright, for the legendaries. Alright, and, you know, you're just gonna see a lot of things happen. First of all, I already have a 5-star Ascended Frost Queen. Frost Queen has been out for a very, very long time, just like how Sea Fairy was. So I already have it at 5-star Ascension. And compared to someone like Sea Fairy back then, right, Frost Queen was actually usable for quite a while until she just kind of completely fell off. So she is already going to have a 5-star Ascension, which means that once I do get her Crystal Gem up to 15, she's going to have that Ascension buff. But, you know, when I do my review, it's mainly going to be on plus 10 initially. And then slowly as I continue to, you know, get materials, then I will do the 15, 20, and then so on reviews. But right now, Frost Queen is in a rough spot. The reason why I say in a rough spot is because Frost Queen, unlike most of the other legendary cookies right now, all right, something like Black Pearl, someone like Moonlight, all right, and even now Sea Fairy, Frost Queen has no way of dodging any of the, you know, skills or damage that she is going to take. So while she's using her skill, yes, she is resistant to interrupting effect, but she's going to take all the damage. She's going to take all the debuffs and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, she just has this motion of doing this and then she can literally die, right? So there's that problem. Second, she has the freeze, but there's a lot of different cookies right now who has that immunity to debuffs, which means that, you know, if they don't get frozen, no damage is going to be dealt. All right, so that's another thing that she just is lacking. And another thing that she's pretty bad with right now is cooldown. So she has an 18-second cooldown. Sea Fairy has a 17-second, and that was already a problem. All right, but Frost Queen has an 18-second cooldown, which is even longer. All right, so hopefully, you know, what I'm hoping is that her cooldown does decrease. But those are the main issues that she has right now. Additional to that, you know, she's not able to, you know, freeze bosses and stuff, which made her, you know, kind of hard to use, right? And additional to that, you know, if you really care, she has no costume. After being out for like two years, she has no costume. So hopefully she gets a costume too. But let's go into the world exploration real quick. And then let me just kind of show you her in action. All right, Frost Queen, if used, she's going to be able to do a ton of damage. Why? Because the enemies will get frozen. All right, so she still is a very, very strong cookie if you're able to use her skill, and her skill functions the way it's supposed to. All right, like this, where she's able to freeze. All right, so there is that slight delay in her skill too, which, you know, kind of makes her harder to use in some cases, right, inside of the arena as well. So there's that little slight delay where she has to suck up, you know, the air or the frost, I don't know, the mist or whatever in the air, and then has to throw it out at the enemies, all right? But, you know, there is that. So hopefully the Crystal Gem gives her an iframe during that time where, like, you know, she doesn't take any damage while she's, you know, charging up her ability, so that, you know, she doesn't die while she's, you know, using her skill, because that sucks. You know, when you're trying to use your powerful move and then, you know, that doesn't happen, that's sad, right? Another thing right now that she's kind of lacking is there are so many enemies nowadays that just, you know, don't get frozen at all. Like, it doesn't even need to be a boss and then they'll not be frozen, you know? So that is another issue that she has that's just, you know, it's harder to deal with, you know. So if you go to 10-31 right now against the Cake Witch, you're going to see that. And she does damage, so they did change it, you know, back then, that where she's still able to at least do damage, right? Which, you know, as a 5-star Ascended cookie with a maxed out lab and, you know, stuff like that, she does, you know, decent damage, but, you know, it could be way more if they were frozen, right? So there is that thing right now that, you know, she's still going to be lacking, all right? She's going to have a problem with. Now, in the arena. How good is she, and why is she just not being used? All right. So inside of the arena, for someone like Frost Queen, again, if you compare it to like this, Golden Cheese, Black Pearl, and Moonlight, all of these cookies all have a way of dodging enemies' attacks. Golden Cheese flies up into the air. Black Pearl goes dives under the water or under the arena, and then just disappears. Moonlight floats into the air, just doesn't take any damage. The reason why, they're just, they're just better in that sense, right? So the comps that used to be the thing for someone like Frost Queen used to be something like, Frost Queen with Sherbet. And then now, we have Crimson Coral, so we can just use Crimson Coral, and then we'll use Double Healer like this. These are the kind of comps that you normally see, right, when you use something like Frost Queen. So something like this would be the comp, all right? Why is this comp bad? All right, I'm going to show you guys why too, but the reason why it's bad is because both Sherbet and Frost Queen just has no way of dodging at all. Just no way of dodging at all. And on top of that, a Frost Queen, normally has a really high attack power, which means that you're going to get nuked, right? You're going to get nuked by Golden Cheese. While Golden Cheese is attacking Frost Queen and Frost Queen tries to use skill, Frost Queen's just not going to hit. Right? Why? Because Golden Cheese is up in the air. It's going to be like, hey, I'm up here. What are you going to do? Right? Not going to be able to do anything. But, now, hopefully, with her Crystal Gem, that changes, kind of. Hopefully, All right, so we have this. This is like a classic build right here for, the Frost comp. So, against the standard comp that we have gotten so far, like a triple DPS. Here we go. All right, this is a perfect one right here that we have. That was literally the comp that I was showing you, right? Look, Golden Cheese up in the air. We have Moonlight up in the air. Black Pearl just dove in. Literally none of them got hit. Additional to that, we have Snapdragon with, debuff resistance, which means that the freeze is also going to be, shorter, right? So that means that they're gonna take less damage. And then 1 minute mark, boom, Golden Cheese snipes Frost Queen, and that's it. We actually might be able to win just because of Sherbet, but we'll see how it goes. Ah, never mind. Oh no, it's possible. It might be possible. But the funny thing is, this is not really because of my Frost comp, but more because, oh no, we're gonna lose. So right now it's not bad, right? But it's just not enough. Why? Golden Cheese just revives and just snipes your DPS. Sherbet actually did quite some damage. I mean, Sherbet, right? If you're able to keep Sherbet alive and just shoot out those shards, then OP. But you can see right there, Frost Queen just kind of got sniped at that 1 minute mark against that Golden Cheese, even with a full solid almond. And, it's just, yeah, you're just going to die, right? So you really want to, right, try and keep that Frost Queen alive for to the damage, but that didn't happen. Hopefully, with the Crystal Jam, it's better. The freeze is going to happen a lot more often because we do have an extra chance of being, getting other cookies frozen, which is also going to do extra damage. So, I think we can just do a direct test of this exact comp, and then maybe possibly even replace, Parfait with Icicle Yeti, and then make a comp like that. Like, because I don't think Icicle Yeti is a safeguard. I think Icicle Yeti is going to be a cookie that can actually take damage. I could be wrong. There was no, information about Icicle Yeti being a safeguard. So if we have both Snapdragon and Icicle Yeti, right, who's a support and a healer, and then we have, the two main Frost comp members with Crimson Coral to, actually help. Actually, no, we can't use Crimson Coral. We'll have to use Fettuccine because Crimson Coral won't be able to, take the buff because Icicle Yeti is a frontline. I actually forgot about that. Frontline healer that does damage too. And it's crazy stuff. All right, but we'll see how it goes. But you guys saw Frost Queen is usable, but again, because of the fact that she has very long cooldown, she has no way of dodging or anything like that. It's harder to use her currently right now inside of the arena. She's there, but she's just lacking a little bit. All right, so hopefully those things do change. Again, unlike for Seafaring, I hope that Frost Queen does get a reduction in the cooldown, hopefully to like 16 seconds. I don't know. Hopefully, that's my guess, but I think Frost Queen will get definitely a big revival. Big revival. Yeah. So let's see how it turns out once the update actually does go live. All right.